Sean, jokingly, it might be hard to figure out what month it is right now in this unusual time. But one thing is for sure, summer is here and my air conditioning is on. I'm sure yours is too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's much needed to have it on this time of year. Only reason we can live here, frankly. And here's a guy that you're going to want to see if you want to make sure that that unit is working in tip-top shape. That is Stephen Gamst. He's here with Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing. How are you, sir?
Very well, very well. Thanks for having us today.
Now, I've been thinking about having like a spa day after all of this craziness. A nice little spa day
Mm,
would be great right now. But you know
mm,
what else needs a spa day? Your air conditioning unit, a rejuvenation of sorts to be able to get back
yeah.
to the way it used to be. Tell us what a rejuvenation can do for your air conditioning system.
Sure, thank you. Rejuvenations can save energy and make systems last longer. To give you the short story, a little more detail is, it's like a car. Air conditioners have big components, your compressors or heat exchangers. They have big important things, and they have minor things like flat tires, gauges, contactors, small things.
Yeah.
Uh, when you do a maintenance, it's important to check a maintenance because the goal is to clean the system. You want to be able to breathe right and to find problems while they're still small. You want to catch a hole in a tire before it blows out and causes more trouble, for instance. Air conditioners can have the same thing. The goal is to have somebody look at it, check it, and see a problem developing before it develops into a serious problem that puts you without air for a hot summer day.
Oh boy, it only takes like an hour, without air, and you are like in full emergency in my house. I'm telling you, Stephen, I've been there. So
Oh
there
yeah.
are some things we need to do to maintain. Of course, we want to call you for those and those bigger things. Also, a few things you recommend. There's homeowners like me who are kind of do it yourself. Is there any little updates I can do, like a filter, any checks that I can do myself?
Sure, sure. One thing is, you never want to let your bushes grow up into the air conditioner if you have the one on the side. Don't let things come up and block that airflow from flowing through the system. Don't mess with your thermostat too much. Just kind of find a happy temperature you're comfortable with and leave it there. If you're cold, turn it up 1 degree. That's how you find the right temperature. Um, Outside of that, it's very important that you clean your filter. Nobody would dream of having a car and then not getting oil changes right. We know we're going to have
Right.
problems. So same thing. If we don't change our filter, we're going to have problems.
I am the laziest person on the planet when it comes to replacing that filter. It is just setting up on the lat. It just stinks. There are some filters that are like replace them once a month. There are some filters that are like supposedly Cadillacs and you can, barely get any air through them,
Yeah,
but
they
man, they'll
last
filter everything.
longer.
Yeah, they last longer. Which ones should we be putting in?
I like a white pleated type of filter. As long as it's pleated,
Yeah.
kind of shaped like an
Yep.
accordion and white, then it's probably a pretty good filter.
All right. Fair enough. Done deal.
And aren't there different, like you can buy a 3-month filter, a 6-month filter? Isn't that true as well?
That is true. So when it comes to filtration, you can get 4-inch filters, 1-inch filters. There's lots of different types of filters. Sometimes you have to change the filter rack where the filter goes to be able to
Yeah.
accommodate a
Hmm.
1 year long filter or things. But that is all options. And yes, we highly recommend them. They are better filters,
Okay.
not just to keep the system clean, but it's not just about it's about keeping your air clean and the air conditioner clean.
I know when it comes to you don't want to have to be calling Gettle when the air conditioning's breaking. You'd rather get there
Right.
and have it just kind of
Sure.
maintained throughout the time. But when is the time we know that our AC needs professional attention?
Sure. Some things to watch out for is a funny noise. You want to listen for a sound. If an air conditioner is making a sound you haven't heard before, a noise you haven't heard before, is it getting louder? Do you hear a tick? Specifically on starting, if you start seeing your lights dim, when the system starts, or
Mm.
if you hear it hesitate, kind of like gurt, hesitate, gurt, and then it starts kind of like a second try, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll know if that applies to you, uh, and burning. You want to watch for burning. Sometimes just looking at
Ooh.
the top of the air conditioner, you can see a motor. Well, they're gray usually, but if you see
Yeah.
one that's burnt dark brown, very very common, then you
Yeah.
know yours is running hot. You might want to get it looked at before that motor stops.
No question.
Absolutely, you do. Hey, Stephen, while we're throwing around sound effects, so can I call you for my neighbor's air conditioner? Because you walk by,
Heh.
walking the dog, and you hear,
Oh,
it's think that guy probably needs maybe a rejuvenation.
Yeah, you could call us, but we might need his phone number
Yeah,
first.
there we go. Yeah, it might need
Oh,
Give
permission
us
from
his
the property
number.
owner.
cute.
Speaking of that rejuvenation, you have a great deal on rejuvenations right now.
We do. Rejuvenations. We have a great deal going on rejuvenations. They're 129, 3 visits a year. I'm sorry, that's a club. Rejuvenations are 1 visit a year for
There you go.
129. Leads me into our club membership. I guess there's three. You get 3 rejuvenations if you sign up for the yearly club. So
Nice.
that's a good way to do it. If you don't want to if you don't want to remember to schedule your own maintenance, you can schedule. You can sign up for our club, and we'll call you and remind you when it's time for maintenance.
Oh, fantastic. That's good because we've got like 9,000 million other things to think about. So if you guys
Yeah,
could think about it, that'd be great. It's great
we'll
talking
do
to
the
you,
thinking
Stephen.
for you.
Thank you,
You as
Stephen.
well.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Hey, listen.
So,
There. Oh,
you
go ahead.
you join that membership, you're part of the cool club.
Yeah, listen. You're like the
Yes.
Get
Burger
it?
King Kids Club. Remember that? Now you're in the Ghetto Club. It's like an adult Burger
We got to
King
come up
Kids
with a
Club.
name that's hard to spell for the cool
Yeah,
club.
it's really true. But you know what, though? They've done a great job of letting us all know how to spell it. GOETTL.com if you want to go
Yes,
and
it
learn more
is.
about them. Their number's there on your screen as well. Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing, a proud sponsor of the Morning Blank.